פה ציור שצויר והוקדש לברוך, ומה שאנחנו מבקשים זה שהאנשים שרוצים ומרגישים שהם עושים את זה לכבודו, לבוא ולחתום פה מאחורנית, ואז אנחנו נעניק לו את זה בטקס רב רושם. אז אנחנו משאירים את זה כאן, ואתם מוזמנים לבוא בהפסקות ולחתום בתמונה. And now, at long last, I'll start speaking in English, so our distinguished guest, Anne-Marie Tillier, who is suffering long lectures in English, in Hebrew for quite a while. I think, well, we can say tens of years, will give us practicing. And she's, Anne-Marie Tillier is collaborating with quite a few of us here in various projects. But the most consistent and long-lasting, and I think really, I should say, interactive scientific discussion she has with Professor Baruch Arensburg, and that's why she felt she will come and share with us this moment. And all I'm left to say is just that her lecture is as it's written here, and now we are doing it more formally, like you are doing it at all kinds of conferences and meetings. So Anne-Marie Tillier will present the lecture entitled Paleolithic Burial Reflections, Bioarchaeological Perspectives. Please.
So just before giving a few comments on Paleolithic burial, I just want to add a few words about the French side story of Baruch. He came to France to follow courses in comparative anatomy and paleontology. The courses were in La Sorbonne, and he came twice in 1958 and 1965. And later he started to be a scholar, and practice collections of the Institute of Paleontology Humaine, met Professor Henri Valois, and started to have a very long friendship with Denise Ferrenbach, who is, of course, well known for some of you, because she has been working on anthropological collection discovered in Israel. And of course, I cannot forget to mention the Château du Méril, where many of us, we have been during the different years. Baruch is a membership of the French Société d'Anthropologie de Paris for a very long time. He's a member of the scientific board of the journal since 1985. He has been for a long time also a research associate to our department of paleoanthropology in Bordeaux University, an invited professor in 1996, and of course part of many PhD dissertation committees holding University of Bordeaux. It has been mentioned before, he was a pioneer in anthropology, and his first studies on some part of the anatomical skeletal elements of past populations have brought new insight in the knowledge of past population, and where the first studies followed later on by many studies conducted in Spain, in France, in Belgium, on Middle Ear ossicles, on hyoid bones, etc. And finally, I would like to say that we share a lot of time and activities together in Kebara, of course, with many of my colleagues from Israel, from the States, from France. Baruch was sharing his time between scientific and logistic activities in Kebara, in Ayayonim, and to this celebration today, I would like to mention also, of course, Gilles Martin, who was a close friend of Baruch and Lily, who both of them welcoming in the late 60s when he first came to Israel. So thank you, Baruch, for all you have done with us. I wanted today just to make a few comments of what can be reflected from Paleolithic burials, especially burials of infants and non-adult individuals, and share with you some of my thoughts, and of course open some questions about the interpretation and sometimes difficulties to really go to the end for an interpretation of Paleolithic burial. It will be, first of all, the first infant and child burials were made in the first discovery were made in southwestern France, in a site located in the Dordogne, La Ferracie. The site was excavated by Denis Perroni at the beginning of the 19th century, and till today it is still a famous site because it was really rich with the anthropological discoveries. As you can see, adult and non-adult specimens were discovered from the site. And of course, many of them were found in burials, deliberate burials. But it's quite clear that in the beginning of the 19th century, Denis Perroni was more interested in lithic artifacts or archaeological consideration than to the study of human bones. The La Ferracie non-adult specimens were sent to Marcelin Boule, who was professor at the Institute of Paleontologie in Paris, but were never published by him, and they were published 60 years later by Jean-Louis Hem in 1982. Quite at the same moment that the discoveries in La Ferracie, Denis Perroni was also excavating in Le Moustier, a site located in Dordogne too, and he found a burial, like a skeleton of a very young infant, but he sent 2 of the bones to Marcelin Boule in Paris at the Institute of Paleontologie Humaine in order to get an age estimation of the specimen, but Marcelin Boule was not really interested in juveniles. So again, for a long time, nobody knows where the Le Moustier skeleton, the Le Moustier 2 skeleton, discovered in 1914, was kept. And suddenly, in 2002, he reappeared and was found by one of my colleagues,